Do y'all remember when Netflix was on DVD?
Well, I do. And now they're getting a little too big for their britches, y'all.
So, word on the street is that Netflix is acquiring Warner Brothers for a whopping $82.7 billion with a B. Now this could spell disaster for entertainment as we know it. Now, Breeze, let me ask you a question real quick. Are you familiar with DC? You know, like Batman, Superman.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, type
Big
shit.
fan.
Familiar with Looney Tunes?
Oh yeah, definitely. Of course. Looney Tunes, what?
Yeah,
Love it.
I know you was on that Scooby Doo back in the day.
You know I do what they do, you dig.
Yeah, I got you. All that might
Yeah.
be coming to an end. Who knows? Because Netflix acquiring all of this could spell disaster, or it could be greatness. I don't know. It's really up in the air because Warner Brothers has so much IP, uh, especially when they relate to like TV and movies, that they weren't using for a long time, or did use and made something a terrible product, and we've never seen it again. So Netflix could come in and really put in work because they do have some good originals. They do have some stinkers though. So honestly, it's about 50-50 where this could really go, I feel like.
To be honest, I definitely agree. And I think we were definitely talking about is that they do have, like you said, they do have a lot of potential with their originals, a lot of high quality projects being done, but at the same time, a lot of them being dropped. Like even high quality ones just being dropped. And it's pretty sad because there's so much potential with a lot of the IPs that have been dropped, and people are just wondering what happened to them. And that's what can happen to a lot of our favorite, IPs from from not just DC, but to we got Mortal Kombat, we got Harry Potter, we got like say Scooby Doo, it's Looney Tunes. There's so much stuff that could be like done. And just like one of my favorite superhero shows, Jupiter's Legacy on Netflix. Amazing show. One season.
Taken away, bro.
One season taken from, come on. It was actually ridiculous. Or Super Crooks, an animated show. One season and we're out of here. And it was two shows actually connected. Beloved in the same universe, beloved. And it's just sad to see it because there was so much potential to see a new universe, a new comic universe specifically. And now it's just because it underperformed as far as Netflix's standards. Now it's just gone, and I hate to see stuff like that. Like I have hope for like seeing maybe with Netflix, I had hope for seeing maybe like a Static Shock show, be a live action, or even if they wanted to go the animated route and kind of give us like a new remake of the old show, a reboot if you will. I would accept that and be willing to just get more Static Shock content. But given the parameters of Netflix, if it doesn't perform at a certain level, which I mean I believe it would, it's still very possible they could just drop it. Or one season, two season, three seasons in, at any moment. It's just too unpredictable, and that's one of the giant issues with Netflix. I feel like when it comes to surrendering all these different IP that we love to Netflix.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And it's like you said, they can create these amazing products, and then whatever their standards are, they never live up to them, and then they take them away. And it's not to be an ass, but it definitely tends to be a lot of always the good shit that gets canceled, and that's really what I'm afraid of is them having all this IP at their disposal. And them spending so much money to acquire Warner Brothers, you already know that their expectations are going to be well through the roof because they see so much value in these IP that you know any other movie that could have done whatever number these movies might do on Netflix still might look at that as a failure, while that movie could be one of the best selling movies of the year. And that's the real unfortunate part, that it really just comes down to money at the end of the day, and the product will tend to suffer. And they don't have the worst track record when it comes to the originals, but with a lot of the IP already being established for decades of lore and things like that. They have a lot to work with. But I'm going to throw in a little short story. I'm a big Witcher fan. Love The Witcher
Mm.
3 specifically. They did my show so goddamn wrong. It pisses me off and it makes me deeply afraid that they could do this to a Batman show, a Superman show, a Lord of the Rings show, Harry Potter, whatever. All that's really up in the air, and given the track record, like I said, you just look at the evidence. They could do what Warner Brothers did and just sit on their IP, or attempt to make product and it not being great, and it would just get shelved.
Definitely, because they're not really known to take like big risks. They're known to just put out feelers and just see if this works, that works, and just try little things. But taking big risks like Warner Brothers has over the years, over the course of TV, movies, and games. Speaking of which, there are just some things we got to discuss about when it comes to the games level in a sec. But it's just too cautious, their approach, and there's so much that we could really gain from all these things that we have at the table that have been shelved that Warner Brothers has and hasn't done much with. I just feel like we're just gonna probably gonna get more of the same, or just not enough consistency and committing to actually trying to make these IPs work. That's what I fear mostly. And as far as the games are concerned, there are things that, I mean, you can look on the positive side, a little bit. You can look at like certain Netflix IPs possibly being worked on as far as game, like creating games and stuff like that for like stuff like Rebel Moon. I haven't seen Rebel Moon, but I do understand that it is like a Star Wars sci-fi story, and I would love to see something like that mixed with the whole Nemesis system, since Warner Brothers owns that. They could have a whole, Nemesis system inside of a Rebel Moon game, and it'd be like Fallen Order meets Shadow of Mordor, and that would just be a crazy tough, you know, combination of concepts. So there is some hope with stuff like that, and that's just in a perfect world, something like that with a mass. But there's hope in that area. But it's just overall, it's just a lot of unease in the community, and yeah, we're just here to talk about it. Get our thoughts out there with you guys. See how you guys feel about it in the comments below. Definitely let us know how you think this might affect gaming, TV, and movies in general, as far as the Warner Brothers IP and Netflix catalog as well.
Overall, if Netflix were to seal the deal, I'm like a good 60-40. But as of right now, it's pretty much the end of the story. Or so we would say, brother, because just in breaking news, Paramount has come in swinging their big dick around with a whopping 108.4 big ones billion, and they're trying to attempt a hostile cash money takeover.
But wait, there's more to it than just they're trying to buy it. Let them know, Keith. Let them know.
They are trying to consume all of Warner Brothers into Paramount. They want the streaming. They want the studios. They want the IP. They want the patents. They want it all. They want a clean shop. And that's pretty crazy. Paramount. Maybe I'm just ignorant. I don't know what the fuck they plan on doing. I don't see. Is the app bumping like that? I don't know. Maybe they need a bump. I don't know. That's what I'm really afraid of. I don't really. Paramount of all.
They gotta up that catalog. Bel Air about to end.
Oh yeah, they gotta pay the bill somehow.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little second before the next Sonic movie come out, man. We gotta do something. We gotta make something shake, man.
I think SpongeBob got new season. You know what I'm saying?
SpongeBob gonna keep us afloat. We got the game, we got the movie, but we need something else. We need more. It's sad because like what does Paramount actually think that them acquiring the Warner Brothers IP will really amass? What's going to be different with them? I don't really see their approach being any way unique or in any way having a positive effect. It's really just a money power move. And I mean, hey, versus the 82 billion, in cash and stocks versus straight up 104 billion cash money on the table. It's just it's an enticing offer, but I think if Warner Brothers actually takes that, that's an L. That's a super L. Super L. L
Yeah,
Brothers for
yeah, as fuck. Like, I feel like there's even a bigger question mark when it comes to the gaming side if Paramount were to do that, because even Netflix was like, the gaming side is not really what we're worried about, which makes me even more terrified for them to acquire that shit. What would Paramount do with these IP? At least Netflix has like gaming studios and shit. Like, you can play them little games on Netflix. What is Paramount going to fucking do?
But I mean, I think that's pretty much the gist of all the news we have and all our opinions for the most part. Keys, you got anything else you want to add before you take us out here?
I just have one request with whoever decides to acquire it. Let James Gunn keep cooking. That's all I gotta say. Like, he's been doing good so far. Don't fuck it up.
Exactly. I agree. For sure. For sure. Definitely let James Gunn cook. Superman was good. I'm not a huge Superman fan, but Superman was that movie was good. I enjoyed it.
Indeed.
Probably maybe a little bit more than I enjoyed Man of Steel for in some instances I'd say for sure.
I 100% agree. Hey, and by the time you guys are listening to this, the Supergirl trailer should be dropping. So hey, hey, Mans is cooking over there in Burbank. So yeah, just let
Yes,
him.
sir.
Just please don't interfere whatsoever. That's the worst thing that can happen. Is just let him be creative, bro. That's it. That's it for me, man. Ouch. Rest in peace, Warner Brothers. I guess.
But hey, it's the Struggle Bros. You know what it is. We here. Got gaming, news, all types of media in general. We here for you.
Keys,
And I'm Breeze.
and the struggle arc continues.
Be breezy.